We start the bulletin this week with a note that I copied off our local notice board. Felicia, you know, the nice lady at the pastry place, writes that her father, Harold McIntyre, has 16 different kinds of senile dementia, and despite constant supervision, the dude is still trying to sell all their possessions for 1967 prices so that he can buy a nuclear-proof caravan. So, if you see old man McIntyre posting a flat screen for 2 cents, don't be a heartless, opportunistic bastard. Just keep on scrolling. Getting right into international news, the Michael Biopic has hit the big screen, and I am tired of all the Russian strangers and dirty groupies on the WhatsApp group asking me, so I'm going to answer it here once and only once. No, I did not watch it. No, I don't plan to watch it, not even if you bribe me with all the cheesecake in the world. And the reason is simple. I don't watch big budget biopics. I would rather read this again or drop the needle on one of... That's not the right one. Or drop the needle on one of these gems. Now, if it was an unreleased concert, hell yeah, then I would be first in line to watch it. Now, Uncle Norm is a certified MJ fan. That's kind of how I got into the KOP, because Uncle Norm used to deconstruct MJ's music and lecture me about conscious decisions and a whole lot of other stuff that I didn't really understand until much later in life. Anyway, leading up to the opening weekend, Uncle Norm was scouring the socials, sticking his nose in all the newspapers in the hope that they would actually write something worth reading. Instead, what he found was the same old sensationalism and criticism of how the movie apparently didn't deal with those allegations.
Funny how the media is still on that witch hunt, and how they still defame and smear certain people with sideways safe words like allegedly and reportedly, yet they didn't publish a word about the Epstein observation until the man was safely 6 feet underground.
Then he said a whole lot of things about the people that own the media that we had to cut from the bulletin because it could be misconstrued as anti-half tick. Moving on to some gaming news that I was not even aware of because I do not care for new games. But Lisa told me that the socials have been abuzz. There's a whole lot of confusing and conflicting commentary about Pragmata. Actually, I should be doing the story from the retro games setup because talking about games makes me want a game. I'll be right back. Taking the TV downstairs quickly, Uncle Norm.
Fine, just make sure you bring it back up before the Bollywood movie starts.
Jeez, this thing is so old and heavy. Thinking I should pull a McIntyre and sell it for 2 cents. Y'all know this is. Right, the Pragmata drama. So, as far as I can gather, the story is there's this Hugh guy. He goes to the moon on a mission. The moon goes shaky, shaky. He is left injured and alone, and he is found by an android. Now, if that were me, I would be like...
There you are. All better.
Thank you, little android, for saving my life. I will now be like your father and teach you the most important lessons in life.
Die, and blast her head clean off, because that is the first lesson you need to learn in life, which is how you can't trust anyone in life, not even your parents, especially not your parents. Then again, I am in therapy for that whole shebang, so I guess I'll save it for the shrink. Also, I would not think twice about pulling the trigger because it's not a little girl, it's an android with the appearance of a little girl. And I don't trust androids or apples or anything made after Nokia 3310. But that's also part of my trust issues that the aforementioned shrink is working on or trying to. Back to Pragmata. So part of me thought that the controversy with the game was that the Android angle was actually a hint to that other hullabaloo that's taken the world by storm. You know, the one where you could have 2 dangly phallic organs, yet still identify as a woman. Or maybe the rivalry is between the biological and the mechanical, and the subliminal message is that Capcom is trying to get us to feel sympathy towards Diana, who is the humanly face of Code AI, since Luna Filament is like the mother of all replicators. But the whole sympathy for the androids narrative is not new. I mean, we had droids in Dragon Ball Z, and I really doubt Akira was sitting there like, I will write it like this, so that we learn to love the android gaijin. If Capcom were actually trying to be as controversial as people claim, they missed a great opportunity with the location. You see, instead of basing it on the moon, they should have based it on Epstein Island. Hugh is the special agent sent in to investigate, but just before he lands, old man Epi gets a tip-off. He escapes with his hundreds of cronies, scot-free, hits the island self-destruct button. Island goes kaboom, but there's still like rubble and stuff left over. When Hugh gets there, Diana crawls out of the rubble, the lone survivor, the offspring of one of the hostages that were kept on the island. And she was completely naive about what was happening there the whole time. Now, that would have gotten people fighting. From what I gathered, some people saw a sexist angle to it, feeling that Diana was more like a youngified woman than a child. Then again, Diana is an android, not a real child, so she should kind of look weird. Also, some people are feeling it's part of the narrative that they're trying to put out that we need to get birth rates up. So apparently, this was supposed to make us get like baby fever or something, which is a bit of a far cry if you ask me. I mean, here we have a single parent scenario, which is made doubly worse by the fact that it's not on Earth. And on top of that, the offspring or kid or whatever you call her is a droid, an orphaned droid. If the powers that be really wanted to increase birth rates, they could have just sabotaged the birth control industry. You see, gamers are smart, or tend to be, because I've met some dumbass gamers in my time. Still, we know all about going on an improbable quest with nothing more than a funky hat and some spare change. And starting a family with the ever-rising cost of living is more than an improbable quest, it's an impossible quest. I mean, gamers usually can't even afford to buy themselves healthy food. I don't think they're going to be playing Pragmata and going, gee whiz, this game really makes me want to start a family. Maybe if gaming was still an affordable hobby, things would have been different. I know that would have made me want to start a family. It would have made me want to propagate like a bloody rabbit. You know, I'd rock up to my first date with a photo album full of all my baby pictures and be like, look, woman, I have one relationship goal. And that is that you and I need to make more you and I. I will nurture it. We will care for it. We will raise it. Play video games, and then I will whoop its ass on Street Fighter. One person theorized that the name Diana is an upcoming plot twist. You see, we are going to fall in love with her. And just when we think nothing can go wrong, kaboom. We're going to blow her up in a tunnel and call it an accident. Kevin is the person that came up with that, in case you were wondering. And the boy still surprises me with his knowledge of past events. Conclusion, I worked up a concussion and I still have no clue what people are fighting about. Maybe people are just being typical people, trying to create drama where there is none, instead of focusing their energy on real problems, like the price of plywood.
The David Normal Network.